All right. Our days is a 2-day system. This day is called a speed day. It could be explosive strength, where weights are 30 to 50% of a 1 rep max for multiple sets. Or it could be strength speed, where the weights will jump up to around 80, is basically 85% for you people that don't wear gear. You would train basically roughly from 70 to next week 75, next week 80, wave it back down. And then absolute, like today it was near max weights. Like actually AJ took away. We wanted to see where he was in this period of his training. He worked up to around 650 pounds with 375 a band. That will squat around 950 pounds, and he's a 1,008 squatter. Now he has a contest. He probably will live March 6th. But back to the 2-day system. The speed day. All right. This is where I'm going to run through some varieties of speed day. You guys have notebooks, I hope. Okay. And on Friday is speed day, like I said, could be anything, including we take our squat weights on this day. We use other bars, but on Monday, on a max every day, we never use the squat bar. It's always a variety of bars. And a little bit, you're going to use every bar we have. I just want to bring up a point, like if you could front squat 500 pounds, 50%, that's 250 pounds, all right? If you could safety bar squat 600 and the beginning of a wave, 50% is 300 pounds. And if you could regular squat 700, 50% is 350 pounds in the first week of each wave. The bar speed will be the same because it's 50% of that 1 rep max, but the volume would be different. It changes 50 pounds per 2 reps, times 8 or 10 sets. So that's where the difference is. That's how if you do the same thing over and over, it's called the law of accommodation. You will get no better at it. If you just go out and run continuously, there's a biological factor called the speed barrier. If you become assembly line worker, like you can only run so fast. You have to do other activities to break that brain monotony of the central nervous system to enable you to run faster. In other words, you have to quit running for a while and then resume running later on. After doing spatial activities, you run faster. Okay, back to speed day. All right, the 3-week pendulum wave. I'm going to give you just a few examples. Like, we'll say a 500-pound squatter, we'll start with 70%, which would be 350 pounds for 12 doubles. Next week, you jump. And I know you people are big into fitness, of course. And here's the fitness level. Start out at 1:15 rest. The next cycle, drop it to 1 minute. The next cycle, drop it to 4. If you think you're in shape, we'll find out. And I'm not a believer in Tendo units, even though I sell them. But if you start slowing down, then you're wasting your time. You don't want to go faster. If you start to lose power, you're wasting your time. If I punch someone 3 times and don't hurt them, I'm not going to punch them the 4th time and getting the hell out of there. Right? So once that barbell slows down, you're losing speed. And but a wave would look like this. The second week, it's a 70 to 80% wave. And that means off of 1 rep max. The second week would be 375 for 12 doubles. And the third week, 400 for 12 doubles. Now, if you look at this, 350 at 70% times 12 is 8,400 pounds. And the 10 doubles with 400, 800 a set, 2 reps, times 10 is 8,000 pounds. For you people with no gear, you would need to squat 8,400 pounds to have a 500-pound squat. Now, this is essential. If you're a 600-pound squatter, and for us, a 600-pound squatter in gear, we would train at 50 to 60. It sounds light, but we're adding gear, and in here we don't wear real super strong gear. All right, and it's 300 set times 12 is 7,200 pounds. See, with gear, it would require 7,200 pounds. And when you drop, you go 12 doubles, and at 360, 60% of 600, follow that, times 10 is 7,200 pounds. You guys following this? This is very, very important. You just don't go in the gym and do so many reps. Just because you can do 5 reps at 9%, it means 0. And you got to have volume. And this day, like I said, you add up this volume, just 8,000 pounds of volume. Yes?
So are you looking to increase the volume over time? Like in weeks 4, 5, and 6, you try to go to 7,600?
No.
You say it's
no, this is mathematics. Lifting weights is mathematics, physics, and biomechanics. That's all it is. It's not chalk, dumbbell, or muscle and fitness. It's mathematics. Because in here we have a 700-pound squatter. If he trained in his first week at would be 350 of 700, right? A 1,000-pound squatter, his first week's 500. It's the right size bait for the right size fish. That way you don't overtrain. How many gyms you gone into and you got one strong guy, he gets stronger and stronger, and everyone else goes out the bottom because they're trying to keep up with the wrong strong guy. You know, when you go to school, you're a freshman in college and you learn that, and then a sophomore and a junior and a senior, then you get into grad school. It all steps up, and that's what this training does. This training is based on your strength. That's why you guys, even though you're not powerlifters per se, should actually do this program. That's why football players should do it. And it's a fast program. You could do 12 sets of squats in 12 minutes, 10 sets of deadlifts in 10 minutes, and push a prowler for a half hour if that's what you want to do. And that's what we do. Yes?
I think the question was, as you get stronger, do you go up? But you have to max out first. Like, we wave, and we'll do that for 12 weeks. So we'll do 3 because we have a Circumax phase, but 3 to 4 waves. You go to the meet, you max out. Now you have your new number to base the next set of waves off. But the waves, the 3 waves, the percentages don't change. So you're always using, because in those 12 weeks, we have max effort and stuff during that time. The waves are the waves are going to stay the same. You're just going to get faster and stronger during that period, but you don't want to overtrain too fast. So, but your volume goes up pretty much your next 12 weeks. So although it's 3-week waves, it's a 12-week cycle on average, sometimes longer.
Following that? Hey, you could train beside me. If you squat 200 and I squatted 900, you could train beside me with your percentages. It's based off your absolute strength max. No hypotheticals. If you squat 500, you squat 500. You can't dream about squatting 6 because that dream turns into a nightmare. You guys are a lot different. I normally talk about nothing less than 8. All right? But an 800-pound squatter with chain. We experiment. We had guys use 3 sets of chain, 120-pound of chain. They got their all-time best squats in a contest, 804, 3 of them. They trained from 405, based 50% of 800, to 480, 60% 800. 12, 12, and 10. When we went to bands are so much harder. I'll get into this later. You cannot be doing 12 sets. Bands accommodate resistance so great that there's no easy parts of the squat whatsoever. It accommodates the bottom to the top. It also has overspeed eccentrics, which is when you lower weights, that's where soreness comes in, breaks muscle fibers, and it makes people large and makes them very sore. So when you have overspeed eccentrics, it can be very harsh on people that's not used to it, right? Are we good with these percents? You need to use 1 weight per week. That way your brain cannot comprehend lifting different amounts of weights in one workout. And you can't control volume that way. If you train at 60%, you have to do 60% for multiple sets. You can't do 70, 80, 90, because your brain, that's what you do in a contest. That's a test. But for training, you have to, you have one, your body will reflect the demands placed upon it. So you want to use 1 weight, but try to move each weight more explosively. Develop more force, because it's sub-maximal weight. See, sub-maximal weights, that's where acceleration, all right, and a fast rate of force develops. If anyone thinks speed's not important, take first gear out of your car or a Mack truck trying to pull a big load. It doesn't go very good.